Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter from your Beehive book, that is My Childhood by APJ Abdul Kalam. It is an extract from his well-known book, that is Wings of Fire, which is also his autobiography, and it is written in the first narrative form, like he is only speaking. So about the author, if we'll see, Dr. Abul Pakir Jainuddin Abdul Kalam was born on 15th October 1931 at Rameswaram in Tamil Nadu. So this is about where he was born and what was his name and on which date was he born. And he was born in Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu. So he was responsible for the evolution of ISRO's launch vehicle program. As everybody knows that he was a man of great vision, he was a scientist, and he was responsible for the launch of ISRO. Now, then in his literary pursuit, he wrote 4 books, that is Wings of Fire, India 2020, then My Journey, and Ignited Minds, that was released by Penguins, and he became the common household names in not only India but also in abroad after writing all these 4 major books. So we have seen that how not only scientist but he was a great literary person. Now he received doctorates also from 30 universities and institutions. He was a well educated man. He was awarded the coveted civilian awards Padma Bhushan in 1981 and Padma Vibhushan in 1990, and India's highest civilian award, that is Bharat Ratna, in 1997. And he became the 11th president of India. Now we'll see the story. Okay, so I was born into a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameswaram in the erstwhile Madras state. My father Jainuddin had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. I had an ideal helpmate in my mother, Ashi Amma. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I am quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the family members of our own family put together. So he is describing about his family, that he was born in a middle class family. His father doesn't have a very good high education, but they had this great generous kind of a behavior, both his father and his mother. And he is saying that along with the family members, lot more other people used to eat with them, and they all were all outsiders. So this shows that how much generous they were. Though being from a middle class family, they used to serve food to the others also. Okay, all right. I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. We lived in our ancestral house, which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large pakka house made of limestone and brick on the Mosque Street in Rameswaram. My austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicine, or clothes. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. See how satisfied kind of a person he was. He is saying that he doesn't look like other children in his family. His father was tall, but he was short, and then he has some undistinguished looks. He looked different from the father and his mother, and they had a very simple but strict and severe kind of a lifestyle. Then what happened, that he said that he lived in a ancestral house of his father. Okay, and it was on the Mosque Street, and it was a pakka house. So his father had this strictness in his lifestyle, that he will provide everything whatever is necessary for a life to live. Okay, but he will avoid everything which provides comfort and unnecessary luxury. So they had food, they had all the necessity things in their house, but they did not prefer to be living in a very luxurious kind of a life. And Abdul Kalam is saying that his childhood, he would say, was a very secure one. He doesn't have to struggle for anything, right? And both materially means money wise also he was satisfied, and emotionally also, because he got this emotional support from his parents. They were so understanding, and they were having so much good moral values in them that they could provide this emotional support to their children. So this was about his earlier days of life. Now we'll see what happened next. So the Second World War broke out in 1931 when I was 8 years old. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to the provision shop on Mosque Street. A day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of one anna. My brother-in-law Jalaluddin would tell me stories about the war won, which I would later attempt to trace in the headlines in Dinamani. So now what happened? In 1939, this World War II broke, and everywhere it was, and at that time he was 8 years old, and everywhere there was demand for these tamarind seeds. So what does he used to do? He used to collect those tamarind seeds and used to sell in the provision market. Then at the end of the day he got this earning of 1 anna, and at that time 1 anna was a good sum of money. And his brother-in-law, okay, Jalaluddin, he would tell stories to him about how World War I broke and what happened, and which he used to get information about in the daily newspaper that was Dinamani. Okay, later, okay, our area being isolated was completely unaffected by the war. So Rameshwaram, because it is a kind of island only, so that area wasn't affected by the wars. So but soon India was forced to join the Allied forces, and something like a state of emergency was declared. Now because he was so small that he couldn't understand what was happening. So Allied forces means he was asked to join the armies of UK, USA and Russia during the Second World War, and there was kind of emergency announced in the country. The first casualty came in the form of the suspension of the train halt and Rameshwaram stations. So once this emergency was introduced, what was the first jolt that occurred? It was like on Rameshwaram stations there will be no train halt. Train will not be stopped at that station. The newspaper now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameshwaram road between Rameshwaram and Dhanuskodi. So now when trains were not stopping there, so newspapers had to be thrown. If Rameshwaram people needs newspaper, then what happens? The trains which used to pass from this Rameshwaram to where Dhanuskodi, they have to throw the newspapers on the stations, and the newspapers now had to be bundled and thrown. Okay, that forced my cousin Samusuddin, who distributed newspapers in Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles, and as if I naturally filled the slot. So now when newspapers are thrown from the trains, so his cousin brother who used to do this selling of newspaper job, he needed an helping hand. So what did he do? Abdul Kalam joined him and helped him. What did he started then? Samasuddin helped me earn my first wages. Half a century later, I can still feel the surge of pride in earning my first own money the very first time. So it was his brother who took him as a helper and who provided a kind of job for him, and he takes lot of pride in saying that okay, it was my first wage, it was my first earning in my life for the first time in my whole career, where I started earning the money by selling the newspapers. So it was his cousin who helped me earn his first wages. So read the chapter till here, and in the next class we'll complete the rest of the chapter like this only.